somewhat benign inflation report today in the PCE. The dollar continues to have a bid. We're up again today, mainly against euro. Euro's down another 21, really reaching some critical levels now in this euro. So perhaps I was premature of getting out of long dollar positions, but that was in Dixie. And USD NOK was actually a very strong performer that I talked about buying last week and bought again Monday. And we've had the breakout, so you have quite a number of pips made there. Also, the peso came out of the hole yesterday and it's acting pretty good. I've taken partial profits. So the only currency position I have on right now is long Aussie from about here. And I'm going to risk, you know, down to about 64.50 here, about 60 pips, thinking that this is drive one, this is drive two, and that we have another move to the upside. In fact, it's showing a lot of relative strength at the moment. But I want to talk about what was the first short I've called out in the S&Ps for quite some time. Yesterday did it on a turnaround Tuesday. It was based upon divergences that I had in S&Ps, and we had a very nice break. Maybe it doesn't show as well, but if you on a 4 hour, but we had these divergences. I talked about confirmed high, a little divergence here, but here was drive two under 70. Here was drive three yesterday, not quite 70. And from 6,300 was a pretty good trade. Took partials, and now I think you have to sell rips. And with this recovery here, between here and 62.80, I think you could sell it. My target is down here at the logical target would be 6,100. And why 6,100? Because 6,100 was a prior all-time high before the decline that we had early in the year into the crash low in April. And it took some time to finally penetrate it. So it's a natural spot. I don't think that is going to be all of it, but it's good to have targets. So I would also use the daily for looking at downside targets. You have to protect yourself over yesterday's highs. So when I was doing it yesterday, I didn't have a reference point like a prior high, right? But now I do. So I have a stop loss point. If they're going to take me out, they're going to trade over 63.07. So it was a pretty good short, 7 handles from the top. So after the partials, I have BE stops in here. 62.40 actually would be a 2-week reversal. And I've talked about 2-week reversals before, just to show you guys how you do it again. All you do is you count back from this week 2 candles, which would be 10 days worth of action, and it comes in at 62.40. And look at what the market held. So, there's there are many opportunities to trade the weekly off number. So we got under it a bit, but 62.40 is, if we close under there by Friday, it's going to be a 2-week reversal. And I'm looking for that. We still have another couple days left. We'll see if this trade works. The worst thing that can happen now is that I make money on this trade. Just want to talk a little bit about what's happening in the metals. Gold's still acting weak. This is kind of looking like a bear flag. If we take out this 3,300 level, I think we're headed to 30.50 or so, eventually 29. Silver had a real high reading up at the top, but it also is so crowded right now that, I think that we're going to head lower, maybe to 37. But my target for a potential silver buy longer term, I'm going to be keying off when gold gets to 2,900 And here's a potential target down here. We'll have some confluence. Call 34 the breakout. So perhaps we come in the low 30s over the course of the next few months. It doesn't rule out one more push up, but we are back inside the megaphone. The only positive that could take it to new highs was look at the momentum here. All right, so that's possible. Sometimes you can get breaks from this kind of momentum, and the trade's so crowded, it's possible it could happen. But as far as buying the market, I'm going to be patient and wait, especially since this dollar rally is underway, and now it's starting to look like 96 was the low, so I'll have to finesse maybe some pullbacks, 96.60, 96 and a half. I also want to cover what's happening here in, we're getting a little pullback in yields. I don't think it's it. And TLT, I believe now that we're going to take out this low from the Moody's downgrade under 83. This was something that I put out calls on once we took out the 87.5 level. So that still looks pretty negative to me. I know there was something else I wanted to talk about. All right, so what held the market up yesterday was the semiconductors, and they're giving up some ground here today. I know you guys want an opinion on Bitcoin. Maybe we correct back down to the 112 level, the prior high, but again, a lot of momentum. But I don't chase anything. I would let the trade come to me, and maybe that's another 6 grand or so lower. Ethereum outperforming again today, but diverging. I'd be careful about chasing crypto at these levels. And I think that's about it that I want to cover. We'll see what happens with Aussie. See if we could hold this 480 level. And the S&Ps is my highest conviction trade right now. The currencies are, I don't have the same level of conviction, and I actually think you could be selling this rip up here. This is about halfway back at 62.60, and I am expecting follow through in the days and weeks ahead to 6,900, and then possibly the next moving average on the daily would come in down here, and that's 58.5. So see if we could shake out the 59.20 bulls in the coming days, and be careful about being long anything. Uh, Gold fading again. There's going to be a great buying opportunity in gold, but I actually think it's going to come in, down around these moving averages, 29.5, and maybe stretch towards 27.5. And I think that the S&Ps, the most things are going to sell off with it. So let's see how this plays out. We're overdue for this correction in the S&Ps, and the sell yesterday, hope you were there and you took it. Already have taken profits in USD NOK and also USD MEX. So we'll see what happens in the dollar arena right here. My preference is to buy the relative strength, and right now, to me, that looks like Aussie. So I'll see you in the room. I've been posting things in there. Just one comment on some of the mags. We had the banks take a pretty good hit yesterday. I think that they're trying to bounce back, but they're under pressure. Google is right at resistance right now. Let's see if it could hold. Netflix reports. See what Nvidia is doing after yesterday. Now that policy has been reversed and they can now sell chips to China. Be aware of some type of gap down that would leave an island. And getting back to Uber, we're back inside the 3 drive overthrow. Uber looks pretty vulnerable to me, and everyone I talk to loves it. So there's plenty of fuel for liquidation should that occur as well. I did see a 3 drive happening in the beans yesterday. See this 1, 2, 3, it's coming out. So that was another good call if you're interested in grains, and corn's acting better as well, having diverged since all the way back in early June. So grains coming to life. And remember, don't just count your bushels or your bars or your coins or your shares. Count your blessings. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. I have Zach Manis with us tomorrow. He's going to be talking about extraordinary targets in um, Elon's and Tesla. And you're going to be surprised what his upside objectives are. And we'll see his technical rationalization for getting to very high aggressive calls. So that's a wrap, everyone. Good hunting today. And I'll see you tomorrow for the interview with Zach Manis. Adios.